Hello there YouTube, and welcome along to Steve's Coronavirus Update, episode 9. This is episode 9 of Steve's Coronavirus Update. Now, before I begin with my coronavirus update, first of all, I'm back in my room because the weather outside is very bad today. It is a bit wet out there and a little bit cloudy as well, so we're having a little bit of a break from the sunshine here in the UK. Hence why I'm doing this coronavirus update from my room. Second thing, I'm going to start with something that I would like to address, that I would like to talk about. It has got nothing to do with coronavirus, but it is something that I want to talk about before I do kick in and talk about some of the updates that's happened this week in terms of the coronavirus. So, within the last week, there was a guy in America who was arrested by police. This happened in Minnesota, in the US. He was unarmed, so he could do no harm to anyone, but the police, when they arrested him, pinned him down to the floor, and there was this one policeman who put his knee on this man's neck. Now, this man is, I can't tell you his name, he is named. This man was called George Floyd. He has been in the news, obviously, over the last week. Now, this policeman who put his knee on George Floyd's neck, he left it there for so long that it ended up killing this man, George Floyd. It ended up killing him. And obviously there has been justice has been done, but a lot of people think that the justice that has been done isn't enough. Now, I will tell you what the justice is that has been served. So the policeman who in theory killed George Floyd by pressing his knee up against his neck, has now lost his job, and he is now going to be, he is charged with his murder, because his murder was an unlawful killing. You know, and what makes this story a lot more important, I would say, is the fact that this guy, it makes you question, you know, this policeman and his actions when they arrested George Floyd. You know, he put his knee on this man's neck. Now, this man was black. He was a black man, you know. And it does make you think, would that policeman have done the same, would he have done the same actions to someone who was white? You know, the same way that he did with George Floyd. You know, there are those questions. You know, and I do think obviously a lot of this story has had race brought back in to it. You know, and there has been protests, there have been riots over in the US. many people have gathered, and they've caused a lot of upsetting scenes in America, you know, with rioting and stuff like that. And it's been, I mean, it hasn't really been the same here in the UK, but we've had some peaceful protests here in the UK. I know that American politics has got nothing to do with us here in the UK. I know that. You know, the people in America, they have their own politics, and we have our own politics here in the UK. But obviously this is kind of a huge topic in the UK, as much as it is over in the US, as much as it is, you know, anywhere else around the world, because any country that you do go to, you will always find people who are racists, that don't like people who are of a different skin colour, you know. So obviously that subject has been brought up, you know, and it is very important to address that, I guess, as well. That, you know, everybody is the same. We are one race. All of us around the world, we are one race. We are the human race, you know. And it doesn't matter whether you're white, whether you're mixed, whether you're black, you know, whether you have a disability or not, or, you know, whether your sexuality is different. So you could be straight, you could be bi, you could be gay, you could be lesbian, you could be trans. You are still one race, and that is the human race, you know. You get so many people who are out there who always pick on you because you're different to other people. But we may be different in terms of our characteristics and our personality, but we're still human. We are still human beings, and nothing will ever change that. We will always be human, you know. And I also want to address that we should be kind to one another, because, I mean, if you see the video of George Floyd and that policeman with his knee on George Floyd's neck, you can see that George Floyd is begging for him to get off his neck, and he didn't. He was telling that copper to get off his neck because he can't breathe. You know, he couldn't breathe, and yet this policeman did not listen to what George Floyd was saying, you know. And he was even calling out for his mum as well, you know. And when you watch that video back, it does make you feel upset that this has happened, and it does make you feel slightly hurt that this has happened to someone. Just imagine that it was you put in this scenario where you had a copper put his knee on your neck because of your race, because of your skin colour, because you're different to everybody else. You know, I want to put it out there, we are not different. The only thing that is different about us is our characteristics, our personality. We are all still one human race. Just because we have different skin colours, just because we have different disabilities, just because we have different sexualities, that doesn't make us any more different than a standard human being. You know? I mean, I will be honest here, for some of you that do know, for some of you that don't know, I do have disabilities myself, you know, but I don't see myself as anyone different to someone who doesn't have a disability. You know, I still see myself as a normal human being, and that is what everyone else is. You know, everyone else is a normal human being, whether you are black, whether you're white, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're bi, whether you're lesbian, whether you're trans. You know? So the message that I'm sending out there for you guys watching this today is be kind to one another. You know? And let's teach the next generation of people who will be living on this planet that it is nice to be nice. You know? And that we also need to teach those new human beings that will be here after we're gone, that everybody is the same. We're not different. We are the same. So that is the message I wanted to get across to you guys watching this video today. And I do hope that you do take something away from this video today. If it's not my coronavirus updates, which I will get to in a second, then it is to be kind and to not be one of those nasty trolls, whether it's in person or whether you want to be a keyboard warrior, you know, because not only is it not fair for you to depict someone just because they have a different skin tone to you, but you also should see it from their mental point of view. You know, if this was you, how would your mental health be? How would your mental health react to someone calling you names because of the way you are, the way you act, the way your skin colour is different to theirs, you know? So there's many points of views that you could look at this from, you know? And that's kind of the message that I want to get out there today, is think of it as if this was you, in your scenario. You know? That is all that I would like to say on this subject, you know? And to the family of George Floyd and his friends, my condolences are with you during this very, very difficult time. So there we go. Now, that is everything that I wanted to talk about during the Black Lives Matter subject. So I am now going to move on to my coronavirus update, which is technically what this video is about. It is about my coronavirus update. Obviously, I'm here to bring you the latest from what's been happening over the last week in terms of the coronavirus here in the UK. And I am going to first of all start off with the coronavirus daily briefings. Obviously, we have every day since pre-lockdown, since I believe it was the 16th of March, we have been having daily briefings, just like the rest of the world has, pretty much, with their world leaders. We have had daily briefings from the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, and some of his cabinet ministers, like Matt Hancock, who is the Health Secretary. We've also had Michael Gove as well. We've had Rishi Sunak, who's the Chancellor. We've also had Priti Patel as well, and we've had many other cabinet ministers join in on the daily briefing, and they've also been fronted by some of the scientific advisors and medical advisors as well. So obviously we have been having those daily briefings, like I say, since mid-March this year. Now it has been announced within the last couple of days at the time of recording this video that the daily briefings will be continuing. However, they will only be continuing on a weekday basis from 5 PM here in the UK, Monday to Friday, starting this week. So obviously we were having a daily briefing from the government here in the UK 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday. But however, they have now decided to cut or scrap the Saturday and Sunday daily briefing from the government here in the UK. The reason being, and I do think that this is a absolutely pathetic reason why they are scrapping the weekend daily briefings here in the UK, but the reason being is because of low TV ratings. That's right, they are cutting the daily briefings at the weekends due to low TV ratings. I don't understand why this is, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring you the TV ratings. Now this is from the BBC, this is. So I did see a tweet, and I did retweet it as well. But this is the BBC One News channel ratings for Downing Street presses. So these figures are average, peak will be higher, and it doesn't include Sky News or the many people watching online streams, because obviously they also do streaming online where you can watch the daily briefings via Facebook, etc, etc. So I'm going to start with Thursday the 28th of May, which was last week at the time of recording this video. So last week, on Thursday the 28th of May, they had an average of around about 3.8 million people tune in. And this was, like I say, via BBC One the News channel. Then on Friday the 29th of May, they had an average of 2.8 million. And then on Saturday the 30th of May, they had an average of 2.1 million. Sunday the 31st of May, they had 2.5 million. And then on Monday the 1st of June, they had an average of 2.8 million viewers tuning in. Now, to be honest with you, that's not really, in my case, low TV ratings. You're still getting the average 2 million viewers that you're addressing to the nation via the BBC One BBC News channel here in the UK. You know? Now, I'd understand if during the week you had an average of 2.8 million people tuning in, but yet during the weekend you only had 300,000 people watching at the weekend. That would be understandable. But for you to turn around and say that you get low TV ratings at the weekend, I don't think so. Because looking at those figures that I've just revealed, you know, those figures there are, you know, standard TV viewing ratings for a press conference. You're still getting 2 million people watching. Be lucky, government, though it is 2 million. And it's not in its 100,000s, you know? So, I don't understand why you would cut the coronavirus daily briefings when, you know, you're getting 2 million people watching still. Whether it's during the week or at the weekend. You know? I mean, to be honest, maybe it might be just because of the fact that, you know, they clearly don't want to work at the weekend because they're the government. You know? They prefer working during the week, but apart from that, that's it. So, anyway, so like I say, starting this week, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. mostly, around about 5 p.m. here in the UK is when the coronavirus daily briefing will be taking place. It was also stated during this spokesman's statement for Downing Street. Number 10 Downing Street spokesman revealed that news over the last couple of days, but also revealed the news that Boris Johnson would lead at least one coronavirus daily briefing a week. I'd like to see this happen. And he also did say in that statement as well that if not one, then possibly even more if he needs to front more coronavirus daily briefings. So, you know, so some weeks we may see the Prime Minister once a week here in the UK for the coronavirus daily briefings, or we may just see him more than once a week if, you know, if there's a blue moon outside, pretty much. So, you know, just wait, because if you see a blue moon outside one night, then that means that Boris Johnson will host a daily briefing more than once a week, let's say. So there we go. Anyway, that's the coronavirus daily briefing update from me about them scrapping the weekends. McDonald's have started to reopen all of their UK drive-through restaurants this week. They started on the 2nd of June, which was Tuesday this week, and they're going to be finishing on Thursday the 4th of June. That's when they plan to reopen all of their UK drive-through restaurants in the UK and in Ireland as well, which is good. Now, however, if you do not, if there is a restaurant, if there is a McDonald's restaurant that doesn't feature a drive-through as part of the restaurant, then that will remain shut for now, which is such a shame, because I know one McDonald's drive-through, which is pretty damn far away from where I am right now, which would mean I'd have to get in a car, drive, I don't know, around about 60 miles to go and get one. And I'm not, you know, I'm not desperate for a McDonald's, although I do miss it. I'm not going to lie, I do miss McDonald's, like many of you out there that do miss McDonald's. So, you know, I really can't wait when just the restaurants begin to reopen again, because I think I will. I think I will go treat myself to a McDonald's. Maybe get a McFlurry, or some chicken nuggets, or a Big Mac. You know, I'm looking forward to that. And then I might vlog it, just so you guys can see my reaction to me having my first post-lockdown McDonald's. So yeah, so I really can't wait for that day when McDonald's does reopen again. So yeah, so like I say, McDonald's have reopened all of their UK drive-thrus, and a lot of people are queuing up to get to them drive-thrus to go and order their McDonald's, because obviously they've gone a couple of months without their McDonald's fix. So there we are. Anyway, also as well, I do want to add that Primark here in the UK, which is a clothing store, and also features other items as well as clothing. You know, sometimes they do Disney products, sometimes they do Harry Potter products and stuff like that. They're going to be reopening all of their UK stores on June 15th, which is technically when non-essential retail UK stores will be able to reopen their stores in the UK, is on that date, the 15th of June. There's also going to be some TV productions going back to filming again. Coronation Street is set to go back to filming, which is a British soap opera here in the UK, for those that don't know. That's going to be recommencing filming again, starting from Tuesday next week, which is Tuesday the 9th of June. There's another British soap opera here in the UK called Emmerdale, which has already started, has already recommenced filming. They've been doing the last week or so, they've been doing they've been filming some lockdown episodes. Those lockdown episodes are set to air on ITV here in the UK from Monday next week, Monday the 8th of June. And obviously since the start of lockdown, Emmerdale has been reduced from 6 episodes a week here on ITV here in the UK to 3 episodes a week, which have been Monday, Wednesday and Fridays at 7 PM. Well, over the next 3 weeks, Emmerdale are now set to reduce that episode count down to 2 episodes a week, which will be on Mondays and Wednesdays only at 7 PM on ITV. And obviously those episodes will be the lockdown episodes, which only feature 2 characters in each episode. So obviously they're going to be a 2-hander episode with 2 different characters on each episode, if that makes sense. And then after that, and that's going to be taking place for the next 3 weeks. And then after that, the episode count will then go back to 3 episodes a week. And then we should then start seeing more characters on screen, but obviously at social distancing level. Maintaining social distancing wherever possible, etc, etc. So there we go anyway. So that's an update on Emmerdale. I also read a news story earlier today, at the time of recording this video, that another British soap opera here in the UK, EastEnders, it is going to be coming back. It's going to be recommencing filming again from the end of this month, from the end of June is when they're going to be recommencing filming. Obviously the BBC, just like all the other TV companies in the UK and around the world, had to halt filming on all their TV shows and stuff way back in March when the coronavirus pandemic hit the UK. So obviously they're going to start recommencing filming of Top Gear and EastEnders and stuff like that at the end of this month. However, EastEnders has been cut from 4 episodes a week down to 2 episodes a week, which air on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays at 8 PM, Tuesdays at 7:30 PM on BBC One in the UK. But I have read somewhere today that in 2 weeks' time, so on the 16th of June, that is when the last pre-lockdown episode of EastEnders will air, and it will go completely off air for a good few weeks until the producers and the creators of the show have gone back to filming and obviously have finished the episodes that they were half done before lockdown. Obviously it's going to be really weird though, because surely they're going to have to reshoot the entire episode again, because obviously you can't have half an episode where people are there crowded together and then halfway through the episode people are there social distancing from each other. You know, it's going to be very weird if that's the case. So who knows what's going to happen there. So yes, that's an update on on EastEnders. So there we go. Also as well, I do want to talk about beaches. Now, this is something that I didn't talk about last week, and it first came to my attention a couple of weeks ago. The beaches. So the beaches, obviously I live here in Bournemouth and Dorset, here in the UK, and we have a beach ourselves. We've got many beaches here. We've got Sandbanks Beach, we've also got Bournemouth Beach, we've got little areas in Bournemouth like Boscombe Beach, Southbourne Beach. Poole, which is right next to Bournemouth, has also got beaches. And so again, so has Christchurch, which again is on the other side of Bournemouth, next to Bournemouth, on the other side of us. Christchurch, they've also got some beaches. as well. And those beaches have been very, very crowded over the last couple of weeks. So obviously today really outside's looking a bit gloomy, looking a bit cloudy and a bit wet, so I don't think people will be hitting the beach that much. But obviously for the last couple of weeks since the lockdown measures in terms of outdoor activity and outdoor exercise has been relaxed, and people have been allowed to go outside and do unlimited outdoor activity, it seems that a lot of people's first instincts were to go to the beach and sit on the beach and get there and sunbathe on the beach while the sun is out there nice and hot. People's instinct straight away was to go to the beach, get a suntan, so catch some rays. I mean, it's just been such a nightmare these last couple of weeks. So last Sunday, obviously in Bournemouth, was really busy. I've seen images online of Bournemouth Beach from Sunday, and it is absolutely packed to the point where social distancing could not be adhered to. It was not possible to social distance yourself from someone else who was on the same beach as you. That is how bad Bournemouth Beach was on Sunday. I didn't go there myself, but I have seen images online of Bournemouth Beach, and yeah, I just think it's really bad that people's instincts were to go to the beach. We've got parks, you've got your own back gardens or front gardens. Surely you could go sit outside. I'm sure the sun is still beaming on your house, where your garden is, where your back or front garden is, where your balcony is, because some people have balconies. So, but people's instincts was, damn, it is such a nice day out there. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave my home. I'm going to get in my car, travel a few miles and go to Bournemouth Beach, because not everyone who was on the beach on Sunday, for example, lived in Bournemouth or even lived in Dorset for that matter. They may have lived in Hampshire, they may have lived in Wiltshire, they may have even lived in London, and I've seen images online of people treating our beaches, Bournemouth Beach, like as if it's a camping site. Because I've seen posts I saw one post in particular of a woman who she went for a beach walk with her daughter one early morning. This was around about 6:15 in the morning, and she took her daughter to the beach for an early morning stroll along the beach, and she posted some photos on social media of someone who was camping on the beach, who must have stayed on the beach overnight in their tent. So it's just like, I know you're a visitor, I know you're a tourist to Bournemouth, I know that hotels probably aren't still open at the moment because they are part of the hospitality sector, but there's no need to camp out on our beaches. There really isn't, no need, The beach isn't going to go anywhere, overnight. It will still be here tomorrow, So, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that people have treated our beaches like that. And I've seen images online of people posting photos of people leaving all their litter on the beach as well, not picking it up and taking it with them to put in the nearest bin, which isn't good. It's not good for our wildlife, and it's not good for the beach neither. And also as well, you get people out there who pick up your litter, which again really isn't great that they have to do that. Some common sense would be perfect if you are going to be sitting on our beaches, because that is what you would have if you was to sit on our beach. If I have rubbish on me, I don't throw it on the floor. No, I pick it, I keep my litter with me. I stick it in my pocket, and when I find a nearest bin, I throw it in the bin. You know, like many other people with common sense would do. You know. So there we go. Anyway, I do think it's absolutely ridiculous that, you know, people are travelling down to our beaches when really, you know, not that, you know, not to be nasty in any way, because I'm not. But I'm just saying that, you know, really it should be for people who live in Dorset who should appreciate the beach, rather than people that live in Hampshire or in Wiltshire or in London or places like that. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, we can't have visitors, you know, that people should stay local to where they live and not come to Bournemouth. I'm not saying that at all, but what I am saying is, really, is it necessary for you to travel so far just to get a bit of sun? Really? Is it? Because I don't think so. You know, I mean, I really don't know, you know. I know that some of the councillors have revealed that they kind of want the government to put a travel ban in place. So it's kind of in line with Wales and Scotland, because in Wales and Scotland you can only travel up to 5 miles and that's it, you know. But whereas here in England you can travel anywhere you want, you know, to go and do your exercise, to be outdoors with your family. I mean, it's really bizarre, really weird that that's in place. So there we are. So that's a little bit of an update in terms of Bournemouth Beach. You know, and there is another thing that I want to add about beaches. I'm going to move to somewhere that's slightly more far away from Bournemouth Beach. It's called Durdledore Beach. It's a really nice place, really lovely place, Durdledore. I've seen images of Durdledore online, and it's a very nice place. It is more commonly known for its arch that is literally on its sea, on its coast. And it is also known, and it's also got its obviously really lovely beach as well. And it's also known as the Jurassic Coast as well. Maybe that's where the dinosaurs used to hang out all those years ago, who knows. So yeah, so there is that anyway. And over the weekend on Saturday, I will say, so Saturday there was an incident that happened on Durdledore Beach where these people climbed the arch, the infamous arch of Durdledore, and they climbed on it and they jumped into the sea from 200 feet in height. They jumped off this arch into the sea, and what I can say is that the sea down below was very shallow. It wasn't deep enough to the point where you could just easily get back up, you know, and not break your back. But yeah, so there was that that happened, and then basically the emergency services were called over the weekend to Durdledore because 4 people injured their backs doing this, obviously, because the sea wasn't deep enough for them to come back to the top, well, for them to come back to the surface, you know, without breaking their back, like I said. And yeah, basically they closed Durdledore off. They did close Durdledore off, but when they were looking at this, when they were seeing to the accident on Durdledore, they grouped people who were at the scene together. Dorset Police, they grouped everyone together while they attended the accident. Now what I don't understand is why would you, and this is what Dorset Police said as well, by the way, they said that they had no choice but to group people together. But it's just like, well no, you did have the choice. You could have sent everyone home. You could have literally have told everyone to get away, to flee the scene, you know. So, but instead you grouped everyone together, and obviously, you know, now there could potentially be a second spike in coronavirus, you know, because of what you did, pretty much. You know, So I just don't understand. I don't understand why you would group people together. You could have just told everyone to go home. Like it should have been. You know, they should have been at home, not on the beach. You know. I mean, the beach is there, yes. The beach is there. It's for people who live locally. But for people that live far away in London and Hampshire and Wiltshire, you know, places like that, they shouldn't really be coming to Dorset at all. They should be turned away from Dorset for the time being. And come back when it is safe to do so. You know? And I'm very surprised that Boris is allowing people to travel unlimited anywhere they want to. You know? I just don't think it is right. I don't think it's right at all. So there we go. There is another rule that's been relaxed this week. And that is about meeting friends. So before, you was only allowed to meet with one other person outside of your house, as long as you maintained social distancing, as long as you kept 2 meters apart. Well, this week, at the beginning of June, you are now allowed to meet with up to 6 people who do not live in the same household as you. So that's 5 other people you're allowed to meet up with, as well as yourself, to make it a group of 6. To be honest, that's very risky. I mean, I certainly won't be being in a group of 6 anytime soon. It's very risky, because from meeting one person outside your household to meeting 6 other people, well, to meeting 5 other people who do not live in the same household as you. I mean, who's to say that one of those 5 people in that group of 6 don't have coronavirus? Well, do have coronavirus, sorry, but aren't experiencing any symptoms, are not symptomatic with it. Then they're spreading the virus to potentially the other 5 friends who are in that group. You know, I know you've still got to maintain social distancing, you know, but I just don't get it, you know. Surely you could have done meeting friends in phases or stages. You know, you could have gone from meeting one person from another household to meeting 2 people from different households, and then later on 3 people from other households, then 4 people from other households, etc, etc. You know, but from going from meeting one person from another household to then meeting 5 other people from another household, whoa, is all I'm gonna say. You know, that is very risky, you know, and it's just very, very dangerous, you know, because to me that sounds like as if you really do want a second spike in coronavirus to actually happen. You know, to meet friends in a group of 5, in groups of 6. You know, it's very risky, very, very risky. There is something else I do also want to say, and don't worry, by the way, because we will know when you break the rules, people. There was a new rule put in place. Believe it or not, this rule was put in place this week, and I don't understand why it was put in place this week. So if you don't live with your partner, if you don't live with your partner, then you are not allowed. It is illegal from this week. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, because I never thought I'd ever be saying this at all, but it is illegal to have sex with your partner if you do not live with them. So I mean, you know, if you do live with your partner, congratulations, because you can still carry on being intimate. But if you don't, then I am sorry to say this, but it is illegal to be intimate with your partner if you do not live with him or her from this week. And I didn't make this up. No, this is a real thing. And I don't understand why it is illegal now. Surely that would have made sense when, well, to be honest, it would have made sense if you didn't see your partner who you don't live with from the start of the lockdown. You know, that would have made sense, obviously. But to put in place a rule to say that you can't be intimate with your partner who you don't live with 11 weeks into lockdown, what's that all about? You know, surely you could have implemented, because then that's then saying that for the last 11 weeks you've allowed people who do not live with their partner to still see their partner in different households, you know, and to still be intimate with their partner pretty much as well for the last 11 weeks. You know, what's that all about? Anyway, like I say, you know, we will find out if you don't live with your partner. We will find out if you have been breaking the rules, and if you don't use anything, you know, and yeah, your partner ends up pregnant and you don't live with her. We will know now if you broke the rules or not. So there we are. That's all I'm going to say. But I really don't understand how the police are going to police people who are in your homes who do not live there. How are they going to police it? I mean, literally, what are we going to have? Are we now going to have policemen just stood in our bedrooms 24 hours a day? You know? Sorry, love, you don't live here. You will not get intimate with him. You know? I mean, literally, I don't understand how you could police people from having intimate, you know, having some intimacy with each other. I literally have no idea. You know, I mean, I've seen comments online, if the police cannot police people who are going to the beach and stuff like that, how on earth are they going to police people from entering other people's homes and staying there overnight, and even more so being intimate with one another? How are they going to police that? I have no idea. So, you know, and what are they going to put in place? Are they going to fine you? Are they going to arrest you? You know, just see it now. What are you in for? I had sex with my girlfriend. Oh, lovely. Yeah. You know, I literally don't understand. I don't understand how they're going to police this at all. Really don't understand. Anyway, so apart from that, I think that is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover this week. There is one more thing actually I wanted to cover, and it is that sports are coming back. The Premier League is starting on June 17th. Formula 1 racing is also coming back to TV as well. I think the first Premier League match, from what I can recall, is Arsenal versus Man City. That match is going to be taking place on June 17th. Snooker is also back as well. There is some snooker tournaments taking place here in the UK on the TV channel ITV4. So if you do want to watch any snooker, if you're a snooker fan out there, ITV4 is the best place to watch some of that coverage as well. So obviously there is a lot of things now, a lot of sports that is coming back. Some of that sport is taking place behind closed doors, where there's no fans watching it from afar. Instead, it's literally the players and the TV cameras that are there at the venue where the snooker tournament, etc, etc, is taking place. So there we go. So that is the latest on my coronavirus update, episode 9. So thank you all for watching. Please hit the like button if you did enjoy this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. That would be much appreciated. Your next video is coming out on Friday the 5th of June, where I'll be talking about Wetherspoon's reopening, so do join me for that. But from me though, it's goodbye. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next YouTube video.